Beautiful, yeah, baby. Amazing.
That is really nice.
Nailed it. I can go home now. I'm joking.
Hey, Rebecca, let us know which you think is your favourite. Ta-da!
I think I'm gonna pick.
Hi everybody, my name's Neil. I'm a wedding photographer based in the UK, and it's a massive, massive honour to again be invited onto MagMod's YouTube channel. This is the third video that I've done now on MagMod's channel, and I'm really honoured to be asked. I've been lucky enough to be a MagMod ambassador now for, I would say, 6 or 7 years, and I literally couldn't make the images that I do were it not for MagMod and their products. So a huge thank you to MagMod and the whole team there for all their support over the years. In today's video, I am at the beautiful Salt House in Staffordshire. It's one of my favourite venues to shoot at. It's absolutely stunning here, as you can see. However, today, Helen and I, because Helen's involved in this as well, thank you Helen, fellow MagMod ambassador and co-founder of Flashmasters, we're going to try and transform this quite blank space using MagMod. Say there are so many stunning locations to shoot at this venue, but we've purposely chosen a room that's going to be a bit more challenging because, as you can see, what is usually a beautiful room, this is where the wedding breakfasts take place, is just empty at the moment. We've got chairs over there, we've got just stuff around, but that is the challenge. Helen and I are each going to take a couple of photographs, probably a few more than a couple, and at the end, I'd like you to let us know in the comments which is your favourite. I'm also going to be editing one of my favourite photographs at the end of this video in Lightroom. So to see how I edited this photograph, please watch to the end. On the way up here, when we were driving here, Helen and I, what can we do? What can we use that's going to help us to really transform this quite ordinary space? And we thought, you know, it's not been used for ages. I've not used it for ages. I've not used it for years, but it's been around for maybe even 10 years now, the MagBeam. Ta-da! Need to blow the dust off this. Many of you may not even know what the MagBeam is, but it's really, really cool. Say, I'm guilty of not using it, and I think probably, Helen, you're guilty of not using it as much?
Yeah, probably about 8 years ago when I lit a whole building. It was very cool, but it's not come out of my camera bag since.
There you go. So it's really underused. So we thought, let's make a video based around the MagBeam. Now, the MagBeam has two primary uses, one of which I've never actually used. This is the MagBeam here, and it extends out a bit like a snoot. And the first use that I say I've not used is, this can give you more flash power, it can increase your flash power and throw the distance of that flash much further than you would usually get. So I've not really had a need for that myself. However, if you were a wildlife photographer and you wanted to use off-camera flash, then that would be a great little tool to have. What I have used it for, and what I think both of us will use it for in this video, is its second use. And this is really cool because the MagBeam offers the potential of creating really cool shapes on the wall using off-camera flash. All these, which are called mag masks, these will produce different shapes that when we use off-camera flash, we can project onto the wall. I like this one. I like this one as well. But there's loads of different ones, as you can see. So these are mag masks, and what we do is we place the mag mask at the back of the MagBeam like so. If you're using the MagBeam for this particular use, you want to make sure that this is pushed down. So it's like this. You extend it out if you want to use it for its other use that I mentioned a second ago. But just making some shapes on a wall isn't going to be all that exciting. What we can also do is add in a gel. So I've got lots of different MagMod gels here. I'm going to choose red. And we put that in over the top, and now we can start to transform spaces by using the MagBeam.
Can I ask, Neil, can we use the newer MagMod gels with that for those who've got the new ones?
Good question. I don't know the answer.
I do!
Oh, and can we?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I shouldn't be using an old one. Sorry for that, MagMod, you can use the new gels.
They just stick to the back there.
Perfect, that would have saved me some time putting that in. Thank you for letting me know now. So let's now put this onto a speed light. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, huge thank you to Rebecca for helping us with this video. Rebecca's an amazing model. I've worked with her a number of times now, and she's great to work with. Her Instagram is on the screen now, so please go and give her a follow. Right, so we're gonna put the MagBeam onto a Godox V100 like that. Let me just check the channel. This is on B. Eventually, I will be lighting Rebecca with a second light, which will be A. So I'm going to have B. I also always have B for behind. If you want to see the distance as well, I've got this from the wall. That seems to work well, that sort of distance. Now we do have window light coming in here, obviously, so probably going to close those. Obviously, we are vampires as off-camera flash photographers, so we prefer dark spaces. That light should be fine, so I'll leave that open for now. Now I'm going to go to 1/250th, which is my sync speed of my Sony A9. If I go faster than 1/250th, I will go into high speed sync. We can do that. The problem with that though is I won't be able to shoot very fast because of recycle problems, because when we go into high speed sync, we need to use higher, stronger flash powers. And once you start doing that, the speed lights may struggle to keep up. And because eventually in this setup, I'm going to be shooting moments, I'm going to be getting Rebecca laughing and moving, I don't want to be able to be restricted to how often I can press the shutter. So I'm going to stay outside of high speed sync, so 2/50th. I want to kill the ambient light in the room, so I've gone to ISO 100. And my aperture, I would like to be relatively wide open. So I'm going to go to f2. Speed light at the moment, the V100 is on 1/16th power. So let's just see what we get. Oh, sorry, I should have also said that I'm on my Viltrox 85mm f1.4 lens. I love this lens. So it's cool to be able to go to 1.4. I don't think I'll be able to get away with it in here. There we go. So instantly, that background now looks really cool. Can I even go to 1.4? I'm just worried that I'm going to be letting too much light in. Yeah, we can go to 1.4. I might just turn the light power down to 132. Perfect, excellent. Sorry, last little bit of equipment. I'm on my Godox X3 trigger. Excellent, okay, so that's the easiest setup in the world. What I'll now do is bring Rebecca in. Rebecca, I'm going to ask you to stand in front of this, please, first of all. Just close this door as well. In an ideal world, it would be nice if the whole wall was white. Obviously, we've got a light on the wall, we've got some wood at the top. The bigger the wall, just being white, the better it would be. But this is easily big enough to give us something to play with. So if I don't do anything else, and don't worry too much about these, Rebecca, because you're going to be in silhouette for these. This can give you a really, almost in silhouette, but because I'm at 1.4, let's even go to f4. Turn the flash power up from 132 to 1/8. Perfect, so we've got just a silhouette here. You can't really do very much with silhouettes with one person unless you're going to start doing really weird James Bond type stuff, which I'm not that interested in. But if you've got a couple, you can see there how you could make something quite cool very, very quickly. But I'm not going to bother with that. What I'm going to do though is light Rebecca from the front now to start to build this shot up in layers. So what I'm going to do first of all is go back to where I was, which was 1.4. And the speed light power is on 132. So again, if I take that shot with no light source on Rebecca, we're going to get that. So that Helen can film this, because usually what I would do at this point is bring in a MagBox Pro 24 Octa, ask Helen to hold it on a pole here. Gorgeous, Darcy. But Helen is very kindly filming this, and eventually I'll be filming Helen as well. So as a little cheat code for today, we brought a C stand, which I'll go and get now. So I wouldn't take a C stand certainly to a wedding. However, for the purpose of today, it's going to work really well. Okay, so my softbox of choice always is the MagBox Pro 24. Really quick and easy to use. And we'll just pop this onto the mag ring, like that. Now, I don't think I'm going to need to use the grid. The reason being that the grid will stop the spill coming out of the softbox, But because we've got Rebecca fairly far away from the wall, there shouldn't be any way that the light coming out of the softbox is going to hit that wall. So I shouldn't need the grid. So I'm going to leave the grid off, but we do need to put a light in it, obviously. I've learned that over the years. Softboxes don't look very good without a speed light in them. Just pop that into there. Perfect. And I'm going to position this so that it's above Rebecca, pointing down, and also coming in slightly from the side. Actually, I think I want to put the other side of Rebecca though for this. So we'll see what this gives us. Now sometimes if you extend the softbox out too far, it's not going to, but it's best just to use weights sometimes. So I'm going to leave that there. You see, it doesn't need the weight on it, but best practice, health and safety and everything like that, exactly. We'll put a weight on. Perfect, right, that's not going to go anywhere now. Right, I'm now going to turn off B, the light behind Rebecca, and just turn A on. This is always, I think, a great way to learn off-camera flash, to build things in stages. So don't confuse yourself. We know that B is right now. I'm not going to change my camera settings because we already know that they are giving me the exposure that I want. So all I need to do now is turn A on and decide where that power needs to be. Now I'm going to guess at 132. So this is just A. So 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. That's really nice light. It can be improved. I'm going to just move that light a little bit closer to Rebecca and then probably go down to 64. Perfect. Promise it won't fall again. Okay, now that light is closer. That means I can turn down the power. So 164 power for A. Beautiful. Oh, much brighter. So let's go to 128. Perfect. So that means I can turn both A and B on, and we should now get what we want. Stunning. So instantly we've got something that's really effective. Now I'm going to build this now, and Rebecca will pose slightly differently and things like that, but that would be my advice when you're building off-camera flash shots in layers. Turn each light on individually, then once you're happy with each particular setting of each light, turn them all on and it should just work. What I think a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they will turn all their lights on at the beginning and then they'll bring a couple out if it's a wedding, and then they'll press the shutter and it'll all be a bit all over the place. They'll go into panic mode and just start spinning dials and all sorts. So my advice always just to get your camera settings right so you're killing the ambient, add in the first flash, get the power where you want it to be, turn it off, add in your second flash if you're using 2 flashes, change the power again to get where you want it to be, then turn them all on, like we've done here. And that way you can't really go wrong. So again, I'm at 250th with my shutter, f1.4, ISO 100, speed light A, which is lighting Rebecca, that's the MagBox, is on 128 power, and B, the MagBeam, is on 132 with a red gel. So let's just take a couple of shots here. Really nice, Rebecca. Stunning. Now I can't go too much in portrait because you see I don't like this line. If I go lower, which is what my instinct would be, I'm now going to just struggle with the wood at the top. So I'll go about here. Stunning, Rebecca. Now I will say it's cheating to use a model like Rebecca. You'll see that I'm not really asking to do very much, but this is hopefully showing you what you can do and how you can easily use the MagBeam to create something really cool. Stunning, Rebecca. So a couple of full lengths. Just looking up towards that light, Rebecca. Amazing. Stunning. Just want to make sure that you can't see the light behind. Yeah. Really nice. Right, I'm just going to get Rebecca laughing. So
beautiful, yeah baby, amazing. Just looking up towards the light, you should do that, Rebecca. Yeah, perfect.
One of the advantages of having your lights low in terms of their power is that if you want to create moments, you can shoot through them even with off-camera flash, as you just see me doing there. If I go back through those images, the speed lights didn't fail once. Every single, oh, sorry, there, once it did. Apart from that, every other one is working. That is because speedlight A is on the minimum power and B is only on 32. In fact, B went off every single time.
I think A is just because you move forward.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think, no, it was. Sorry, the speed lights went off every single time. That would not happen if we're in high-speed sync, which is why at the beginning of the video, I was saying the importance of not going faster than 2/50th. Some cameras, by the way, that is 1/200, depends on the model. Or if you've got a Sony A9 III, you don't have to worry about this at all, but we do.
And we're very jealous.
Us poor people, yeah. So I'm just going to take a couple more of those laughing ones just a bit closer in landscape. Beautiful, Rebecca, yes! Beautiful! Love it.
Oh, I give up already. Is this really a challenge?
Yeah, honestly, this is why, yes, it's a cheat to use Rebecca. She's amazing. Okay, I love what we've got already with this really simple setup, but this is a challenge and I need to make Helen more worried than this.
Honestly, you
so,
can't.
I also love bokeh. So, I'm going to create some foreground bokeh. Oh, Helen's shaking her head.
I knew you would.
Helen's shaking her head. So I'm going to create some foreground bokeh and maybe change my lens. But I just wanted to show you that really easy setup. And again, why it's worth blowing the dust off the MagBeam. I don't know why I don't use it more. I love it. Helen's feeling nervous now. She's seen the shots that I've just taken. So I thought I'll take the edge off for her. Have some shots.
You know I'd be up for it.
So one of my favourite things to use to create bokeh in the foreground is shooting through glasses. It's really easy to do, but also very, very effective. So I'm going to just move all these shot glasses here, and I will shoot through them to create like really nice foreground bokeh. Now, what I actually want to do, thinking on it, is move these glasses more towards the edge of the table. A bit more of the corner, like this.
Why is that?
Just because I don't want you to be able to see the bottom of the table in the final shot. And if I have them too close, it's going to be hard to blend that away. So something like this should work quite nice. I'm still on my 85mm at the moment. Now, to me, this is going to be very much probably a 35mm shot. We've also got a lot of ambient light coming in from the background, which I'm hoping will not affect this exposure. So a little quick, I also need to move the mag mask as well. Yeah, we've got a little bit of spill coming in from the light that is behind. I'm going to position that about here. With a lot of these setups, this is the hardest part, is just tweaking the initial placement of your lights and where you're going to be positioned yourself. This should work. Yeah, cool. Okay, that looks good. But it's not really an 85mm shot, this. This is, for me, this is a 35mm shot. So I'm going to go to the 35mm, if I can remember where it is, it's over here. 35mm is actually probably my favourite portrait lens. It's probably the lens that I use most for portraits, which always seems a bit strange, but oh, Helen's shaking her head.
No.
Oh, it's getting nasty.
No, it's not.
Because I really like little people in the frame and then fill in the frame with stuff, whether that be bokeh, the sky, grass, whatever it would be. So I'm on my 35mm now. Because this is a 1.8 lens, I can't shoot at 1.4 obviously, so I've gone to 1.8. And let's just see what we get first of all. You can see that I've got a bit of a problem with that whiteness of the table, as I mentioned earlier. But there's enough potential in this for it to look really cool. Yeah, I like that. I might just be tempted to turn B, which is the MagBeam, up to 1/16. Nice. That's a really nice start. But it can always be improved. It always can. So I'm going to add colour to the foreground glasses now by using off-camera flash. So on this side, I will place a Godox V863. This will be C, and that would be pointing towards the glasses. And on this side, we've got a Godox V862. And do we have another
Corner?
Light, yes we do, thank you.
I shouldn't be helping you, should I?
I know.
I'll be like, no more light stands, never mind.
It's just in your nature. So this is also going to be on C. These can be the same group because they're going to do the same job. I'm trying to keep them the same distance away as well, so that the power can be exactly the same on both of them. Now, I don't want them to do very much at all. All I want to do is just add a little bit of light to this. So without a doubt, C is going to be at 128 power, the minimum that I can go to, okay? So let's just see what this does. Again, I'm going to turn off A and B. This is just about what C is doing now, or the two C's. Perfect, Rebecca. Don't worry about these, you won't even be lit for these. Right, that's a bit too much, as you can see. However, I'm now going to be adding on a gel to each of these. Now, I purposely put a red gel in the MagBeam. That is because, for me, when you're looking at my photographs, I often like to surround my subjects with the warm light and the outside bokeh to be cooler light. So I'm going to put purple, maybe blue in the foreground. So we'll go for, yeah, they're already there. We're going to go for, you can see I use these a lot. Yeah. So we're going to go purple on this side. That will take some of the power away, and blue on this side. I'm also going to move them a little bit further back. Again, due to inverse square law, the further back the lights are, they will relatively seem like we've turned the power down. If this is still too much, I'll close the windows, because that's one of the big factors in why these are appearing a little bit brighter than I would like. Yeah, so we've got this nice foreground bokeh. Might just go to F2 just to take the edge off slightly. Yeah, that's nice. So let's turn on now B and A. So we've got all three sets of lights on now. Okay, Rebecca, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Ooh, in fact, I'm just thinking now, because I've gone to F2, might just turn up A, the light that is lighting Rebecca. If you can just be looking up for me, Rebecca, if that's right. I'm not going to ask you to do too much more just yet. Yes. Okay, this is cool. The only real problem I've got now is just this bottom left and the bottom of the frame. It looks a little bit boring. Also, maybe the top right as well. So I wonder if I can just play around with the glasses a little bit. It's risky, but it's what we do. Yeah, that's filled it in a little bit. This is where it's good to have a bit of a bag of tricks. So one of the things that I like to shoot through is this filter. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called the Aura or something, but I'll put it on the screen now, the name of this filter. Also, I think in here, yeah, I've got bits and bobs. Sure, we all do this sort of thing in your camera bags. I've collected this stuff over the years, and I can use this to put right in front of my lens to create more interesting foreground.
Pulling out the big guns.
Yeah, exactly. If this doesn't win it for me, then nothing will. That's nice. Right, okay, so we've got something cool there. So now it's just going to be about creating the moment. So again, just be looking up towards that light again and laughing your head off, because you just know that I've just won the challenge. Yes, love it. Love it. Perfect. With your right hand, can you just try maybe just push that veil out whilst you're looking up? Yeah, whilst you're still looking up, so you're just sort of swaying around the veil and stuff. Swish it round. Yes, good. Love it. Perfect. Yeah, they look really, really cool. I also don't want to shoot through this. I love this. I will say my shots are very much what we would call in the UK Marmite. You're either going to love these or think, oh my God, what's happened? It looks like MagMod have thrown up on the room, basically. But I'm a fan of that. I'm here for it. Yes, love it. Nice. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, what I'm going to do now is pass you over to Helen. But remember, at the end of the video, I will be editing in Lightroom one of these photographs. So do stick around to the end of the video. Massive thank you from me, just from me, Rebecca, for that. That was incredible. I'm not going to show you these. We'll show you these at the end, I think. I think that'll be the best way. then Rebecca can choose. Remember, we want you to let us know in the comments which is going to be your favorite. This one or the magic that Helen's going to produce. Now, joking aside, I'm going to go over here because Helen is a far, far better photographer than she realizes she is, or than she would ever admit. Here are some of Helen's favorite photographs. I'm going to put these in for her. She is incredibly talented, as you can see. She is a MagMod ambassador. She's also co-founded Flashmaster with me. And I say, I've learned a lot from Helen. It's just that she's not used to this as much. So I know you're going to create some gold here, but we're going to stop the nice bit now. I know you're going to create some rubbish now because you can't live with that. We'll find out. Over to Helen.
I'm going home. Let's go! I'm not really. I'm competitive. I'm going to win. Hello there, and I'm Helen of Helen Williams Photography, and this is my second time on the YouTube channel. So thank you, MagMod. I hopefully didn't mess up too much last time. So today, as this is obviously a challenge, last time Neil just threw it on me without warning, and I've been thinking, I've watched Neil work loads, and he is my hero, the king of MagMod. However, I felt that maybe his images were a little Marmite and possibly a little much.
Ooh!
So, I know. I hope that wasn't too bad. I feel really bad. So yeah, I'm going to try to use the equipment that we've got here, using the mag masks, to try and create something that's maybe just a little bit more bridal, something a bit more soft and romantic that people could replicate with just a solo bride. Especially, I haven't for a while, but I've done weddings before where I've had bridal prep within like a conference suite because there's been so many people getting ready and there's been nothing there, and that's where they've been until ceremony. So I want to try and do something that with just a plain wall could look soft and romantic and hopefully quite bridal. I'm going to be using this, well, boxed it's called, this box mag mask here.
Oh, they have names.
Yeah. Blossom you used.
Blossom for the win.
So I'm going to try on box, so hopefully this is going to emulate, I'm hoping, some natural window light coming through. I'm going to be using this to be lighting the background, as Neil did, but what I'm hoping, or what I like to have, is really nice, warm, clean images. So I'm going to go with, I think, a half CTO, could change my mind. What I'm trying to emulate is...
Also, it's one of the newer gels as well.
Yes. Ta-da! Quick and easy. So you can use the new gels as well. You don't need to use the old ones. So I'm going to attach this now to the MagBeam, and what I'm hoping is that I can emulate some soft romantic, maybe like golden hour or early morning window light. We'll see how it goes though. So we're currently using, I've just stolen Neil's V100. It's here, so I'm going for it. And that's all you need to do to put it on. I've purposefully, or this is set, just so it's about Rebecca's shoulder height, so I'm going to try to keep that out of shot. I don't want it creeping in. So I'm going to start with the background light, as Neil says, working it up in layers. So before I turn on my key light, which I'm still going to be using the MagBox 24, what I want to do is see what effect this is having on the background. So I'll pick up my camera since I've dumped it. So before I take this photograph, this might change, but...
Wow, look at that. Talk about blowing the dust off the MagBeam. What is that thing?
This is a lens that I bought once when I broke a 35, and I don't think I've used it, but it's a bit battered because it just sits in the bottom of my bag as a backup. And then worst of all, after you saying that 35 was your favourite portrait lens.
35mm is actually my favourite portrait lens. It's probably the lens that I use most for portraits, which always seems a bit strange, but oh, Helen's shaking her head.
No. It's a 35mm. I don't even shoot 35.
No, you don't, because I've never seen that antique before.
No. So yeah, this is the Zeiss Batis f2.8. Plus, why not? Bit of novelty. But what I'm going to do before I turn any of the lights on is that I want to set my ambient as well. So really, it doesn't have to be pitch black in here, but I don't really want anything affected by an ambient. So just for ease, I'm currently on my go-to settings when I start using off-camera flash. So I'm at 2/50th of a second, I'm on f4 and ISO 400. And if we just have a little look there, Yeah, there's a very small amount of light there that's hitting, but nothing that's really visible or effective. So as a base layer, that's not gonna bother me at all. I'm quite happy with that and those settings there. So as Neil said, because let's be honest, Neil taught me everything that I know, although I don't like to admit it. See, I can be nice, even if I'm meant to be smack talking. Neil has taught me an awful lot. So in the same way that Neil does, I always use B for behind. That makes a lot of sense to my brain as well. So now all I've done is turn on my XT2 trigger and it's on minimum power. Yeah, it's a light background. I'm imagining I'm not going to need much power from it. And let's have a look where that is. Nice. It's coming through, it's hitting a lot of the floor. I'm not sure if I'm going to want that in my composition or whether it's going to be a little bit distracting, but in terms of the power, I don't see sort of any big hotspots or any big distractions there. So as a base, I think in terms of settings, that's not looking too bad at all. But I think I'm going to ask Neil, or I will myself. I'll do it myself. At the moment, it's facing down just a little bit too much. So let's, ooh. Can I just say, I know I'm terrible. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm always going on about the Mag shoe, but I just need to give a shout out as well. This is like one of the best bits of MagMod equipment there is. So shout out to the Mag shoe, it's very underrated. Okay, so I'm feeling quite happy now with how the background is looking. It's not overexposed. The mask is going off nicely to the side, and what I've made sure to do as well is rather than have the mask directly facing the wall, like direct light, we have come in from the side, but I quite like the way that it's stretching the shadows out. Plus I feel like that's more of like a natural sort of direction of light. I wouldn't usually put a bride directly in front of my light source. So I feel like it looks a bit more natural coming in from the side there. So now I've got that, what I'm gonna do is turn on A, which is our key light here. Before we started though, I did throw a mag grid on there as well. I just wanted to make sure I am a little bit closer to the wall than what Neil was, and I don't want that spilling over. So all I'm gonna do, once again, I'm on minimum power. It is dark in here, I don't need an awful lot. So let's add that in and see how it looks. Oh, watch out Redfern, you're going down.
That is really nice.
Nailed it. I can go home now. I'm joking. I am joking. So just to recap what I'm hoping to achieve, and this, I might add some more things to this, is that I wanted this to be a bit more softer than Neil's, a little less bam in your face, all the colours, all of the bokeh, just a soft, simple portrait that people could reproduce on any wedding day. And I know we've got a really nice clean background here with a cream wall, but I don't see why we couldn't do this if there was wallpaper on the wall or different colours. We're using the half CTO to try and replicate the warm light that would be streaming through a window either at sunrise or sunset. So I'm hoping that this is something that people can do on the fly, basically anywhere. The only thing I'm wondering, and I'm absolutely thrilled with this image.
It is amazing. It's really nice.
I am really, really pleased. I do quite like, when I'm shooting with flash, I do often add a light behind, or a rim light, a hair light, just to provide some extra separation from the background. I'm not sure if it's going to work. It's going to be coming from another side. It might not look natural, it might be bad, but I always like to try and add one more in. So I'm going to grab, well, hopefully I'm going to find, there you go. I'm going to take this here, which is another V863. Currently, just to recap, A is the key light, B is the backlight. So this I'm just going to add then as C. And I've got a half CTO here as well. So we're just going to pop that on nice and simply. And what I'm going to try to do is set this up just a little bit taller than Rebecca and pointing down. So just before I move away, there is a grid and a half CTO on there as well. Fingers crossed that's going to be hitting my subject. So let's have a little look. Oh, nice, that is pretty. So currently now, all of the lights are lit with a half CTO gel. Beautiful. Oh, these are stunning. Look at me. Just push the shutter down and go for it like Neil. Stunning. Ah, I those will be absolutely splendid. Thank you so much, Rebecca. She's been absolutely incredible. And I will say, as someone who doesn't really shoot models on a very regular basis at all, I'm generally just out shooting weddings. It is absolutely fantastic to have someone here who did help me an awful lot. So I will admit, if my lighting's good and you like the lighting, brilliant. But Rebecca brought so much to that image there. So thank you so much. You've helped me out. So this is my favorite photograph, and I can't deny it. I hope you like it more than Neil's.
First of all, I'd like to say a massive congratulations to Helen. I think she took the best photograph of this shoot. I absolutely love this particular shot of Helen's. Thought it was brilliant. The concept was great. She executed it perfectly, and the moment is just perfect. So yeah, she won the challenge. So as I promised earlier in the video, I'm now going to open up Lightroom and edit one of my favorite photographs from my part of the shoot. Now, I thought on the day that it was going to be one of the photographs where I was shooting through the glasses, because I really like doing that, and I do love these shots, in particular this one. But if I'm being honest, my favorite shot of the day was one of the more simple ones, and it was this one here. I just love the moment. I love the simplicity of the shot. But I also really like how we've used the MagBeam here to really change that background, and I think it works really well. The problem with the shooting through the glasses shots is that the MagBeam effect, the actual light on the background, was very small and quite subtle, and you don't really get the impact that I think you do in this shot. So although this is a bit more of a simple shot, it is my favorite. Also shows as well just how important moment is when it comes to photographs and the emotional impact that they have for us. So yeah, this is the one that I'm going to edit. Now, I would usually just apply my preset at this point, but I'm not going to do that because obviously you probably won't have that. So instead, I'm just going to go through some of these sliders over here, which are what I call global sliders. In other words, these sliders here will make differences to the whole of the image rather than just a particular area, and then we'll do some work with masks. So first of all, I'm going to look at the histogram as I normally do and can see, yeah, it's good. We've got lots of detail across the whole of the histogram to make sure that both of these are checked, so that if I am losing highlights, as I am here, identified by the red areas, then I'm going to be aware of that. But first of all, this is a shot for me that is about color, vibrancy, energy. So let's play with that. So I'm going to first of all just bring down the shadows a little bit and the highlights. Again, I'm not going to be too careful about where these go. Something like that, nice and rough. Clarity overall, I will be changing it in a mask. I'm going to just drop that to say 15 because it's quite Rebecca heavy. And when I've got somebody quite big in the frame, any person, then I like to reduce the clarity. D-Hay is going to put up a little bit. And to say this is a shot that's about color and vibrancy. So let's put up the vibrancy to 30 and let's push up the saturation as well. We'll go to 10 for the saturation. Down here, I must admit, I do like to play around with the HSL sliders as well, especially for skin tone. The hue I tend to bring down quite a bit in the yellows. We'll put the orange down as well a little bit, something like that. So that will be it for the global changes for me. I'm now going to edit this photograph in 2 layers, if you like. The first layer will be Rebecca, and the second layer will be the background, and that's where it will really all start coming together. So I'm going to go in a little bit closer to Rebecca's face, and I'm going to press K on the keyboard. That's going to give me a new brush. I'm going to go over Rebecca's face like this. Notice that I have a very big feather. Let's drop it down a little bit. That means that the edge of the brush is going to be very soft, so you're not going to see the join. Also, if you press O on the keyboard, you can see the area that you painted, which is going to be forming the mask. And what I want to do, because I've gone over Rebecca's face here, first of all, I'm going to bring out the highlights slightly, just because I don't want to lose, and the whites, any of the detail on Rebecca's forehead. But I also want to go down here and bring down the clarity and the texture, just because when it comes to skin, I like to make that area a little bit softer. So we'll just go around the chest as well, something like that. In fact, let's just push that up a little bit stronger so it really exaggerates that effect. Cool. And again, if you ever want to see what you've done, you can click on these arrows up here, click on this eye, And you can see there, we've just taken the edge off. Whilst we're here, I'm also just going to go to plus up here, select people, select Rebecca, and do two things. One, I'm just going to click on lips. That's going to create a mask just of Rebecca's lips. You can see, just go increase the saturation slightly, make them a bit redder to go with the background. And I'll also press plus again, select people, and this time I'll go to teeth. I do have brushes for these, you'll see on the left hand side, which come as part of my preset pack, but again, it's not about the preset pack. So let's just push up the whites there slightly and take away some of the saturation from the teeth. Okay. And again, what has that done? Let's see. There's the before and after. Only subtle, but quite a nice little change. So we've gone from there to there. And now we're going to play with the background, which is where this shot's really going to gain impact. So let's click on the masks over here. We're going to create a new mask and we're going to select the background. As you can see, there, Lightroom's done a good job. Now you see there that the background isn't including that area behind the veil, but I want to add that. With this mask selected, I'm going to click on plus, brush, and just go over that area as well. Again, with a soft edge to the brush, because that really should be part of the background. Okay, now let's play with this. First of all, I want to push up the contrast. That's where we're getting the impact. We'll go up quite high with that. Let's bring back the shadows. Also the saturation will go up quite high with that as well. Now I'm going to go down here, and this is where it's really going to change. Push up the clarity and the dehaze, and you can see what impact that background has now. I think it looks really, really cool. Now, when I look at this shot overall, we've got a little gap now at the top of the histogram. That means I can push up the white slightly, so let's just do that a little bit, and you can see it's really starting to pop. Not going to go to the very end, but about there is good. And just for me, I'm going to make another new brush. We've got a little bit of clipping of the blacks, next to nothing, but because it annoys me to have that, let's just go over there and just bring up the black so that they go. We need to do a bit of a crop, just straighten it out a little bit. Should have done that first. There we go. So we've gone from there, straight out of camera, to there, the final edit. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. As always, if you have any question about anything I've done in this video, please let me know in the comments. So obviously this is not my YouTube channel, this is MagMod's channel. So I will check the comments and reply as best I can. But I'd like to say a huge thank you to MagMod again for inviting me to make a video on their channel. It's always an honor to do that. Massive thank you to Rebecca for modeling. She was absolutely amazing. And huge thank you to Helen for filming my part of the video and for winning the challenge. She did an incredible job. Thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you next time.
Okay, Rebecca, let us know which you think is your favourite. Oh. Ta-da!
I think I'm going to pick...
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. You nailed it. Behind the scenes. Yours is stunning. That is gorgeous. I would choose yours.
That's really, actually, I'm really pleased.